Welcome to the DigiTavern. Grab a chair, get a drink, or do whatever it is you do because you're now here with us in the DigiTavern. Today is Tuesday, so that means it's release day for World of Warcraft Classic and another podcast of the DigiTavern. On this episode, Fredo and I, we discuss some of our favorite lore-rich video games, and we delve into our top 3 and discuss what games' lore we want to adventure into first. So let's get this started. Let's roll that intro.
Barkeep, pour me a drink.
Hey Bar, spin that shit.
Welcome back. Fredo, we are back for another episode of the DigiTavern. We've got 2 episodes of the DigiTavern out there. How you feel about this, man?
My DJ horn. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Excited.
Yeah.
Finally get consistency going here with our podcasts.
Guy, we've got 2 podcasts out there in the internets. Like, this is a thing now. Like, we're straight DPB.
Sure, whatever that means.
Dick in the peanut butter.
Oh.
No backing out.
All right. Someone call the dog.
Ew. But no, like this is a big deal. Like this is going to be our second installment, number whatever, but our 3rd one overall. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better from here or worse.
Well, hopefully better. For the best. For the best. We can only hope.
Now, so today is kind of a big deal because not only is this another podcast day for us, but World of Warcraft Classic is releasing and it's open. Its servers are ready for all of us to return back to the motherland that is Vanilla WoW. I'm excited. I'm pretty excited.
And for just for anyone interested, I think me and you are picking the Bloodthirst server, the RP
Buccaneers
server.
one, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
like
Buccaneers
or something. So if anyone's interested and they don't know what to pick, that's the one we're gonna go on.
Yeah, definitely.
So, be nice to drop a what's up in there.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll release our names, characters, or whatever. So.
Yeah, and I think we have some plans moving forward with them. Like, if we get the chance to, stream and all that stuff, we're gonna be able to do that too. So that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
But since we're on the topic of like games that have some amazing lore, it's kind of a big deal for us here at the DigiTavern. You and I have started this podcast because we want to surround ourselves with some of games' best lore. With that being said, what are some of your top 3 games, or your top 3 games that have a lot of lore inside of them, like the ones that stick out to you the most?
Well, top 3. Do you want me to just name them? Do you want me to kind of go into them?
Let's go through our top 3, and then let's just kind of talk about why,
okay.
What really stands out for that game.
So for me, it's probably right now the top one is The Witcher, because I think I was already interested in The Witcher. I beat 2. I didn't get too far into 1. I got maybe a third of the way through 1. It's kind of hard to play, but eventually I'll get through it. But
what do you mean it's kind of hard?
The controls are just a little bit off. It just plays strange. I don't know how to describe it unless you play it. The controls didn't age well.
Take that, Project Red. Fix your game.
What? There's mods out there, I think. But the game, it's like...
You heard it here first. Databotz attacks CD Project Red.
It's like you're trying to play an isometric game with like third-person control It's a little odd.
You are ripping them a new one.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, ever since I played, I forgot how I found The Witcher 2, but I've beat it like twice, like doing different storylines. Because at one point it kind of splits, and you can go into
spoilers. God,
you can go into finding. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, I guess.
No, it's fine. The game's been out forever.
But yeah, the Witcher, and then I think you gave me like a lore book, like a physical lore book.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I read it, the more I'm like engrossed in the world and the story.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So that one is probably top of mind for me. I do like the Elder Scrolls series.
Yep.
Specifically, anything that really has to do with like the Dark Brotherhood. So
That's a good one.
it's kind of sad that I haven't gone, and I think Morrowind supposedly has a good Dark Brotherhood story.
Well, they have a really good version of their Dark Brotherhood because, and to get into it just a little bit, the Dark Brotherhood is kind of like all throughout Tamriel, but the Morag Tong is strictly.
Yeah, the Morag Tong is the big in Morrowind.
Yeah, that's
the
like
big
the
ones.
Dunmer one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know they had like a DLC for it that's like straight, just lower rich or whatever. So eventually I'll do that one day. But for the most part, like the one that really drew me in was probably Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that you had that mission where you were going to the orphanage and they're like, "Hey, kill this guy," and you found that kid like doing all this like sacrificial stuff, and if you actually kill the person or whatever, you find out they're bad. They probably should die, and you kill them. They're like, "Hey, we saw what you did."
Well, she was just like a terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget the name of like the person who watches over like foster children. She's just a terrible person.
Caretaker.
Yeah, she's like a terrible caretaker.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and they were just like, "We know." You get that letter.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, what's this?"
It's a good one. I remember in Oblivion that if you killed somebody in their sleep, like if you were just like riding along the countryside of Cyrodiil and you came across like a house or some kind of tavern and someone's sleeping in there, if you killed them, like that's initiated the quest line. And I'm almost positive that it only initiated if you did it like that. And then you got the message the next couple of days. Because I think you had to sleep in their bed after you did it. And then they approached it like, stop right there.
You just took this. Yeah.
Like you just
a funny
just killed
story.
someone.
Like a funny story. The first time I run into like the Brotherhood in Skyrim, I was just like, "Whoa, check out their armor!" And I killed the guy, the guy that was there to like talk to you. I was like, "Dude, I'm dead."
But he's got the note on him though, right? Like he had the note, invitation. Yeah.
So but the first time I didn't really follow through with it. I just kind of took his armor and then went on my way. But the second time I was like, "Hey, yeah, I remember this." Because it was the second time I did it. I was like, "Yeah, I remember this. That's cool." And then I followed the storyline and it was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's a good storyline, Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah. So that anything that touches on that, I really enjoy. Right now I am playing Final Fantasy. I think we're both playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, we are.
I read like it was like an article. It's pretty beefy. Like it just had like
Same.
the whole world. Did you read it too?
No, I was talking about being beefy.
Oh, man. But yeah, like I read an article and I was just like, this is awesome. And I think I went home and then I downloaded the game and started playing. And ever since then, it's been like a couple months, I think, since I've been playing.
Yeah, it's been
I
like
played
3
a while
months now.
back. Yeah, like I played like when it first came out for a little bit. And then at one point last year, I think I did the 30-day free trial or the up to level 30 free trial. But I didn't get far it really wasn't until I read that article that got me focused on like, whoa, there's some good like lore and stories here, and I actually paid more attention to the game.
Yeah.
So it's really weird how that happens. Like if a game, it's almost like if a game doesn't have any backstory that I can learn, I'm like, what's the point? And I'll just kind of glass over it. It depends though, because I still like Call of Duty, or I still like those type of games.
Yeah, but
just for playing.
Yeah, but it's best when the game has something to offer. Like when the lore, the in-game lore, or the in-game history is so rich and just so in-depth that we're able to kind of like put ourselves into those positions or into that place in the game, and it just kind of helps us kind of like immerse ourselves and play that game even more. Like it keeps us attached.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love that. So what about you? What top 3 games, since you put me in the hot seat?
So for me, definitely Elder Scrolls, and mostly because I've been playing Elder Scrolls for a long time, and I think now I've been playing it for 15 years, because I started when I was 13 or 14, and so like the Elder Scrolls has a special place with me because it's just so content rich, and from Oblivion to Morrowind, because that's the order that I played them, and then into Skyrim and into ESO Online. Like, I can't get enough. Like, the stories, the histories, like everything that's involved with the Elder Scrolls is just massive to me, and like that's one of my favorite games. And I know, like, I think we've talked about this a long time ago. Like when we first met, I mentioned that like I didn't have the game for the longest time. So instead of like playing the game, I just read wiki page after wiki page of its history, because that was the only way that I could learn what was going on in the game. And at that point,
broke ass.
Yeah, I know. But at the time, like I was just sitting there, just like reading them and just reading all the articles and just learning what I could. And now I'm like buying all these like books and volumes, and I'm just like I'm overwhelmed with information. But that's definitely top one.
It's nuts. Like it's crazy. I think our first ever conversation was about Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, it was.
And now we're over here doing like
still doing it.
Still
talking about Elder Scrolls.
That was years ago.
That was a long time ago. That's like 2011. No, it wasn't. That's a lie.
I don't know. It was years ago.
Yeah, it was a while. But I mean, like these things bring people together, and it obviously brought us together. So it's like that's kind of a big deal. I know, like Elder Scrolls, just still on the topic. Like me and my cousin, like we often send each other memes about Oblivion, like constantly. I won't talk to him for like weeks, but he'll hit me with some kind of like Oblivion meme, and I'm just like laughing for days, man. It's that game is it's one of the best games I've ever played, just because it's so memey.
I like some of those. I think I've seen one where like the guards will follow you forever.
Yeah,
like
because
swim through.
Because the aggro was hard. Yeah, I remember that. That's terrible. But one of the big ones for me also is, as today is launch day for classic, World of Warcraft is also one of those big games that I've played for years now, and it's just one of those games. It's kind of like Elder Scrolls, but it's really not, because it's its own entity with like the space travel and like Legion and orcs coming from a different planet. It's just a mix of everything, and there's so much lore involved, especially going back to the RTS game that I kind of grew up on alongside Age of Empires, because that was my meat as a child, like playing RTS games. So Warcraft was big for me, and then having World of Warcraft, that's perfect blend. Now the third one's kind of hard for me, because we did a dry run of this podcast, and I was kind of torn between Destiny, Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed,
man,
like
that's not
5
fair.
other
You put
ones.
me in the hot seat. Just pick one. I might ask you in another podcast what other ones you like, but for now, just pick it.
Oh God, I don't know. I think I didn't even think about Mass Effect, and I just thought about it right now. You know what? I'm gonna say Destiny, because today, or earlier last week, I was talking to our buddy Travis, and we were talking about Destiny going to Steam, and I got all excited about Destiny again. And I remember on launch day, and I was working at GameStop. I went in at 10. Yeah, I went in at 10 a.m. to go get it because I didn't want to go to school. Like, I skipped school because I skipped college, and I was like, I'm gonna go buy the game, pick it up, come home, and play the game. And I remember I played it for like 26 hours straight. I beat the whole storyline in one day, and I was like, this game's amazing. I love it.
Wow, I had a different effect, honestly.
God, I love that game, yo. Like, Destiny was great. It's still great, and I can't wait for it to move.
I was a little upset because, like, the lore in that game wasn't, like, prevalent in the first game.
But there's so much, though. No, I'm talking about Destiny 1, not Destiny 2.
No, I'm saying in Destiny 1. Like, I don't know. I guess I was seeing it in a different way because that is the first and last game that I ever did, like, a midnight release for.
Yeah.
Because I went there, like, I don't know. I waited there like a jackass, until they gave it out. And then I went home, and then it's like, oh yeah, here, download this patch. And I had crap internet, I think, at the time, so it took like 3 hours or 2 hours.
Struggle.
Or something. And by the time I finally got to play, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and by then I was already regretting it. Like, I should have just bought it in the morning. And then, like, I played it, and, like, what they talked about, like, you can do whatever you want. I thought it was like an MMO. And I remember I turned left at the beginning.
Yeah, I've heard this story before. Yep.
And I hit a wall.
Yep.
And I was upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think I did beat the whole campaign. It took me like 15 hours or something.
And see, we can definitely get into this conversation about, like, our past adventures through pre-ordering games and, like, midnight releases.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
yeah, I wouldn't bring it up.
Destiny was definitely one of those games that was kind of promoted in a different way. It was brought to us like it's an ever-changing world with an economy that changes as you play it, and that people are doing something almost every day. Because
someone said like 10-year story or something.
Well, think about it.
That was thrown out there.
When did the game release? Like 2014?
So it was a while back.
I mean, like, it's been 6 years now. Destiny 2 is not going anywhere for a while. Like, they're getting ready to release another expansion or DLC content. And now that
I love Destiny 2, man. It's great.
I mean, now they're moving to Steam, so, like, obviously they've got big plans for Destiny moving forward. So I think it's only going to get better from here.
I really think so. So I think it's a good game to invest, like, your mind, your knowledge, and the lore, because I think it's not going to end anytime soon.
No, it's
so
not.
I do like that you have, like, a game that it's kind of new. I don't know. I like it. Just like I'm playing Final Fantasy. Like, I'm deep into Final Fantasy. Like, I love Final Fantasy, but I was never, like, engrossed in the lore of Final Fantasy. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So now I'm finally starting to learn about, like, how the Earth came to be and stuff like that, or Eorzea in Final Fantasy 14 and all that, which is awesome.
Yeah, like, for me, like, the first time I've ever played any Final Fantasy game, at least, and I mean me, like, my brothers played it with my uncles back on, like, PlayStation 1. But the first game that I played Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy X. And I remember I played that alongside my brother, and, like, that was the first game that really caught my attention of Final Fantasy. And I still really don't know what's going on in that world, especially with the whole crossover with, like, Kingdom Hearts and Disney. I was super confused by that. And even today, like, I'm really confused about Final Fantasy's lore, but I'm definitely willing to go into it and learn about it. So, like,
yeah, real quickly, the Kingdom Hearts thing, it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
See, well then why is it called Final Fantasy? Or why does
Like, you
it
want to
have...
get into, like, why is Final Fantasy called Final Fantasy? Because I can get into that.
No,
I know
we're
why.
not going to do that right now.
Okay.
We'll save that for later. But with that being said, with our list out there of some of our favorite games with some of the best lore in our opinions, if you had to pick one, like if we are going to jump into one of those games, like full-fledged, in detail, all the lore of your list, which one would you pick?
That me and you both get into?
Yeah, like if we had to like flip a coin, of like I got my pick, you have your pick. What's your pick?
I would say The Witcher, honestly.
Okay.
That's just like number one in my mind right now.
Right. For me, I think it would be, and just because like I feel like it's gonna be a thing right now, and it's so easy to like draw the people back into it, I'm gonna have to say WoW. Gonna have to say WoW.
Warcraft.
Yeah, gonna have to say Warcraft.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Yeah, that's a good choice. I like them both.
Just because like WoW has like a lot of characters and just has a lot of history, and since it's starting over again, like this is a good time to start over with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I really think like there might be some new players that don't know
yeah.
much coming of Classic.
Yeah, it has to be, especially like coming off from Warcraft into World of Warcraft. There's a huge gap of what's going on in between these games, like what happened before and what's happening now. Now, I will say that there is a YouTube guy out there. His name is Nobel or Nobu, I think, and he does a really good lore video vlog VODs. And his stuff is amazing. Like, if you ever check him out, like, that guy's amazing. I watch him when I'm bored. And I don't watch YouTube. But he does a really good job. But we could definitely put our own twist on it. Here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think World of Warcraft is a pretty good choice. I don't know if I would flip a coin between that and The Witcher.
Gotta roll the dice, baby.
I don't know how interested you would be in The Witcher.
I mean, I like The
story.
Witcher. Like, that's the thing. Is like, I'm a Witcher fan. I'm not the biggest Witcher fan, not because of the game isn't good or anything, or the content isn't good, but because I don't have as much history with the game as you do. Like,
Yeah, makes sense. Like, you didn't play 2, right?
No, I didn't play any of the first ones. Like, I didn't play 1 or 2, and I have them. I should go back and play them. I should go back and play a lot of games. But so is life.
Yeah, I remember I lost my shit when I saw the trailer for The Witcher 3. Like, it came on and I was like, no way. You know, like, I had that reaction.
When I saw it, because I was working at GameStop when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks like a pretty cool game. It looks like a mix of like Skyrim and Dark Souls, because of like the big boss fights and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, interesting. I might give that a try. And I bought it and I got into it, and I've played it a couple of times. Have I beaten it? No.
I haven't beat The Witcher 3. I have not beat it. But that's a problem we can get into
At some point.
pretty soon, honestly.
I gotta finish that game. Like, I have to. Oh, we have to.
And now, like, you gave me the book, so it's like, now I almost want to finish the book before I jump into it again. It's so weird.
This
Yeah.
is the biggest mistake I've ever made, is giving you that book.
It was.
But with
I
some,
don't know.
But with some of our favorite games out there and some of our favorite lore out there, looking forward, is there any game that comes to mind right now that you are excited about that's going to have new lore content for you and for us to kind of cover here at the DigiTavern?
Yeah, probably Cyberpunk 2077. I have I know very little about that world, but I already know like CD Projekt Red is like releasing like some books or some like comics or web videos. I forgot what it was, just to build up the story before you start playing the game. So it's like I'm already like, this is gonna be awesome. There's gonna be a lot to learn. a lot to learn about the world, the people in there, like what's going on, how did it get that way and stuff. And this is like the game's not even out, and they're talking about releasing things like that already. So I'm like, this is awesome.
See, I like when games do that, or I guess would we call it companies or gaming companies?
Honestly, it reminds me of like, you know, when you buy a game back in the day and you read that booklet.
Yeah, the booklet on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, and you learn about the.
Yes.
You know, they have little things in there. And you learn about them, and then you play the game.
Bro, I used to do that
So.
when my brothers were playing the games. We were playing like on the PS2, and we only had one. And instead of playing the games that I wanted, I would just grab the book, just read them. But I like when they do that because it's kind of like a build-up, but it's also an addition to the world that they're creating. So when Oblivion came out, right, there was a lot of downtime between Oblivion and Skyrim, but they had came out with 2 books in between those games, and one of them was called the Infernal City, and it's about this like floating island that is neither Daedric or human or mortal, and it's like floating above Argonia, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of blowing my mind because when I was reading it, I was like, why is it in Argonia? And it goes back to like the whole illness that began in Somerset Isles and how the Argonians were immune to the sickness, and that this city started floating over theirs to basically use them as like husks. And it's this crazy book, but they always mention the Oblivion Crisis, so it's kind of like a tie-in through various points of media. And it was so good because it's like it kept the content coming. So like when you played Skyrim, they never really kind of talk about that, like that city, but the thing is it's there, like it did happen. So if this next game that comes out, which and as far as games that I'm looking forward to this next Elder Scrolls game, which is supposed to take place in Argonia or Black Marsh. I would love to see if they tie in like the book thing, the Elder Scrolls Online version, which was the Shadow Hist, and then the Oblivion and Skyrim things. Like, I want to see if they put all that together, because if they do, then that means they're doing lore right over there at Bethesda.
Yeah, I know they got like those guys whose job is only to like develop lore.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot the guy's name. I'll have to bring it up next time we talk about Elder Scrolls. But that guy, he's got a great mind. He's got some good stories, and he knows how to tie stuff in, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And we got into it, or not into it, but we talked a little bit about the during our dry run about like Skyrim's unfinished business with the Thalmor and the Stormcloaks and the Imperials, and how they were supposed to be more DLC content, but then they scrapped it because ESO was coming out. Bro. No, man, it's not gonna happen. God, it's not gonna happen to make me cry. Like, it's not gonna happen. I can't put another 1,500 hours in another Skyrim 2 game.
You know, I thought maybe it would have been a possibility when like the special edition came out, and they're like, we're gonna release a special DLC for the special edition.
That would have been cool.
Finally finish it.
I want to know what's gonna happen. Maybe they'll do what they did before. Maybe they'll come out with a book to kind of patch that stuff up. But you never know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. You said Elder Scrolls, right?
Yep.
Like Argonia.
Yes.
Yeah, for me it's Cyberpunk. Do you feel like there's any games out there that might be lacking in lore that you really wish had some more though? I think Fallout.
Oh yeah.
there's some lore there, but I just wish there was like more.
We got into that one though. Like that one, we were getting ready to fight.
Like I wish there was more lore. There is lore, you know. It's the United States or whatever, but then like what's going on in the rest of the world, like you don't really know.
I still think that there is an explanation out there that we're just probably overlooking.
I think so. It's a possibility. But the fact that it's not like there in your face, it kind of bugs me. Or maybe like they maybe they just need to release like a lore book or something. Because a lot of these games that I love that have lore, they release like an accompanying like lore book.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. Well, that's a thing now. They're like that's a big thing now. Like with like WoW's has come out with like their volumes. Like they're on volume 3 now. Volume 4 should be coming out pretty soon. Elder Scrolls is coming out with their volumes of like their lore, but they did the Skyrim lore, and then they did the Elder Scrolls Online lore. I know Witcher has their book. That's the one I gave you. But
Final Fantasy has like the Eorzea Encyclopedia 1 and 2, I think.
Now I know Dragon Age has theirs, and
yeah, they have some books too, I believe.
Yeah, they do. But the thing is, like, it's super hard to get the original ones, like the first ones, because I think they started publishing them in like 2007 or something like that. And the thing is, like, if you find the books now, or if you buy them secondhand, they're like hundreds of dollars, like $200 for like the first book. And that's because like they didn't make a lot. It wasn't a thing then, but it's a thing now. So it's like.
But Dragon Age, I'm not gonna lie, Dragon Age also has like what Mass Effect has a massive index in game.
Yes.
You know, and Dragon Age, they also have their own little thing inside.
Yeah.
That explains a lot. So it's probably not needed to have it, but
it'd be
really
super cool to have it though.
Yeah, like an Elder Scrolls, all the lore is in like books that you pick up
in the game. Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah,
you know, I think World of Warcraft. I don't know how they do their lore. Their lore is more like through the world.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's there, but at the same time, you're playing it. If that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, I guess they got the books, right? The physical books.
Well, now they do.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that the books that are out now, like the volumes, the lore changed a little bit after Warlords of Draenor. Like some things that happen are no longer canon, and some things that did happen are no longer canon. It's a little weird.
Yeah, you were trying to explain that to me once, and I was just like, why did you explain all of this to me if it doesn't matter anymore?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because I was like, oh, like, this is the story of this, but here's the thing, none of that matters anymore.
And I was just like, oh, why?
And that's why...
Why did you do this to me?
Well, that's
because it was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, like, the beauty of WoW, because and that's why it's crazy for like the classic version to be coming out, because it's now like what's going on.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to see if they follow what's in the Chronicles.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
definitely.
So that'd be interesting.
But yeah, so like those are some of the things that we're kind of looking forward to. We've got plenty of things to kind of discuss in the future. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be pretty cool, and if it's a Project Red project, it's going to be jam-packed with information, lore, and just kind of things to kind of find out as we play the game. But we have to wait a little bit more for that one to be released. So that would be cool.
Plus it's got Keanu Reeves.
Yes, it's got Keanu fucking Reeves. They killed his dog, and now he's gonna kill you.
And I'm gonna throw a little bit of lore there for you guys. What I do know. And it kind of, if you watch the trailer, he's kind of like a digital entity, because you'll see him like phase out. And what I understand from the character that he plays is like something snake or serpent or something. I forgot his name, but he kind of lives in that dude's mind. So yeah.
You know what? Now that you say that, Snake, Metal Gear Solid has some good lore.
Dude, yes.
That's got some really good lore in there.
And I've played all of the games.
Like, Yeah, like this. What was it? The Sons of Liberty.
One of my favorite was Snake Eater.
Yeah, Snake Eater was good.
But I remember Sons of Liberty. Like
Yeah.
at the end.
Yes.
I just put down my controller and watched like an hour movie,
Yeah.
and then got into the boss fight.
That game, Sons of Liberty, freaked me out at the end because I felt like all of the stuff all the corruption and all the underdealings of like governments and stuff like that.
Yo, Kojima speaks truth. Bro.
Yo, bro, it freaked me out because I was like, this is
one of the
probably
things
happening.
that really got me in like the track that the mindset that I am now. Because
that was something to freak out about for sure. But
it makes me want to go back to do it again. Like now that I'm more mature.
Yeah, so you can
Now I'll
understand
probably
it.
be more- yeah. I did understand a little bit, like some of the stuff, like the president is just a puppet, Like I was just like, oh my god. Don't get me started on that. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
It was such a good
at some
game.
point.
Yeah, like it's such a good game. And I was even thinking about Hitman for some reason, but Hitman was just the story of Hitman's a good game. Like it's a good game, like the early franchise. Maybe not the latter, but the early ones are pretty cool.
We're talking about they got a movie.
Bro, that movie sucked.
Dude, get out! I love that movie.
You would. Well, with all those games out there and all that discussion put away with, we kind of have to make a decision going forward. And we can do this on podcast or we can do it off podcast. But moving forward, there's a decision to be made. And that decision is what we're going to kind of start off with for our lore podcast version of the DigiTavern. We want to do this right.
I think it makes sense to do World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's true. And plus,
Because I have the first Chronicles book.
Yeah, you have the first Chronicle book. Yeah,
we can start like at the beginning, just like WoW starting at the beginning again. Apparently.
Well, remember, like technically, I hate.
Not the beginning.
Yeah,
but World of Warcraft 3 should be the remake should be out soon too, right?
Warcraft 3. Get
Warcraft
it right,
3.
you fucking pleb.
Wow. And now, like Warcraft 1 and 2 are available on GOG.
First off, it's Warcraft, orcs versus humans.
Sure.
Fucking pleb. God, I'm embarrassed for you.
Hey, I'm gonna learn along with you.
What would Travis think
with
right now?
I don't know.
He's probably like, fucking Fredo.
I know.
It's okay. See, like, that's the whole point, though. Like, for those people who are jumping into WoW Classic for the first time ever, if you are trying to figure out what's happening in Warcraft, I mean, we can get into that. I mean, we'll touch into that if we continue on with World of Warcraft lore, because that's a pivotal part of WoW and its universe. So, like, as we jump into that, if and when we do, there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. And the Chronicle is a great place to start, but that's the beginning of everything. Like the world, the Titans, and all that beautiful, beautiful, rich story. Or beautifully rich story.
There's some good stuff in there.
And that's gonna be fun, but really and truthfully, like as we get into WoW Classic, we're gonna have to start jumping into like Chronicle 3, I think it is. But that's okay.
Yeah, we can. I'm fine with it.
It's gonna be sick. I'm excited for that. And
Decision made.
Decision made, I guess, and we're gonna start doing WoW, and it's gonna be fun. And then
So now the decision is, where do we start?
well, we can kind of start off with Classic. Jumping into World of Warcraft vanilla
Like
when
some
it first
guy
started.
was just born.
Yeah, and we'll go through that, and it would be cool too, because if we're playing that game, essentially, we can kind of live that through our players' eyes and kind of come at it in that direction.
I'm down.
That'd be cool. Also, this means we get to start doing the lore production version, which would be cool. Like the sounds and the voice acting and stuff like that. That's exciting for me.
Doing it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm excited. That's cool, man. Like, I'm happy that we finally have a decision on that, and we can get moving forward on everything else.
Yeah, I know you're a master class as far as WoW lore goes, but I am going to learn as much as we can.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get really confused myself.
Yeah, like I'm honestly, I'm gonna follow the chronicles. Like, I'm gonna talk about what's on there, and you can probably tell me, you know what? Yeah, this is good or not. But I'm guessing it's good since it comes straight from the source.
Yeah, I would assume
straight from the teat.
Straight from the teat. But I would assume, yeah, like anything from the Chronicles is now the official canon. So if they've changed anything, like, what doesn't matter? It's canon now. So like that's how it's gonna be. This is not like Star Wars and Disney Star Wars. Like there's a lot of canon and not canon there, which everyone hates. But you know, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Well,
I remember once they were like, "Yeah, you see this list of books? Yeah, they never have."
Oh my god, that was like over hundreds of books, like just thrown in the trash by Disney.
That was a lot of people were upset. I remember that.
And not only like novels, but like comic books just thrown away.
Yep.
Like
years of someone's work. They're like, not good enough.
Well, not even that. Like just like years of like people investing in this content and just throwing it away. Like that was terrible. We'll get into that at some point. We might even bring Adam along for that one because he loves himself some Star Wars. But
I don't look forward to it.
Yes, you do.
Now, if we ever talk about Lord of the Rings.
Oh yes. Ooh boy.
You got my ear.
Let's do it. I'm down. Are we gonna do books and movies? We could.
There's Lord of the Rings Online.
Oh my god. I didn't play Lotro.
Get out. That's it.
Sorry.
Last episode of the podcast.
You know, we had a good run.
I did play it. I still play it every now and then.
Why?
Why? Because
it's like
the lore.
It's like a buy wall every time you move into a new zone.
No, not if you do like the subscription. Kind of like the same as ESO, like legit, almost the same model that ESO has. WoW had before ESO, so before you talk shit.
You mean
sir,
Lotro had before
you
ESO?
Talk shit.
You said WoW, not Lotro.
Oh,
God, get your own argument straight. All right. Well, so the cool thing about all this is like a lot of stuff is coming out more and more. And last week, because today's Tuesday, last week was Gamescom 2019. And Gamescom is one of those kind of conventions where it's kind of weird because it's very European in its presentation, which is kind of the fun part of it, I guess, the fun aspect of it.
Which was strange when they didn't clap for FIFA. I remember like
it's stereotypical, sir.
Okay.
Well, Gamescom was last week, and it was pretty cool because we got to see, what was it, Google Stadia?
I had seen that before, but we got to see like more of it. Yeah,
well,
sure.
This was actually the first time I've ever seen anything running on Google Stadia. And
yeah, actually, I had a beta when it was called Google Project Stream, I believe.
Weird flex, but okay.
No, last year. So I actually got to see how the technology works, and it was really good. Like it looked fine. I was playing at work, where I probably shouldn't, but I was like playing on a browser.
It's okay, they closed.
Yeah, and they gave me after the beta, like a few months later, they gave me Odyssey for free, I believe.
Yeah.
Or the newest Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
Oh, is that what you were playing that on?
Yeah, they gave it to me.
I remember you were telling me about that.
I told you. I was playing at work. I think I even took a picture or something.
That's pretty cool. the whole Google Stadia thing is, I don't know. Like we've had this conversation before. I'm not much of a handheld device gamer. It's not something I do. Like I don't think I'll ever like, hey, I'm done playing on my TV. Let me go play on my phone instead. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Tell me you don't got phones?
Take that, BlizzCon 2019. You just got slammed.
I'm slamming on CD Projekt Red, Bethesda. Who else? Blizzard.
You're just a fucking hater. But yeah, like
We're off to a
Gamescom.
good start.
But Gamescom had some pretty cool stuff out there. Like just like the overall presentation of games that were coming out, and I think like one of the big ones was Cyberpunk 2077. I actually like that Darksiders kind of like overhead button masher game. I forget what it was called. That looked pretty cool. I like Darksiders.
Kind of like a Diablo clone, kind of.
Yeah, it looked like yeah. It's definitely a Diablo clone. But to be fair, they cloned Diablo from other games, so
Yeah.
it's a clone of a clone, which it happens. But it looked pretty cool. Orcs Must Die 3 looked pretty cool. I don't know if you saw that. And they're
I saw. What's up?
no, and they're based out of Dallas.
Orcs Must Die.
Yeah,
No, tight.
yeah. Like I forget the dev's name, but they're based here in Dallas, which is pretty cool.
For me, I think I saw some Death Stranding stuff.
Yeah.
They actually had like some. They released some of like the story around what's going on there. So that was pretty cool. They showed a part about the babies and how, like he was saying, like, yeah, don't get attached. These are just tools. You know, I was like, ooh, strange. And like, yeah, it was interesting. So Death Stranding was something that really stood out for me at Gamescom.
What a terrible way to promote your game. Don't attach yourself to the babies.
Oh, and they called them babies. I think that was the name. It was strange.
That's creepy, bro.
Like they had Guillermo del Toro doing like a cameo, and they call them babies or
babies.
something like that.
Well, and one
Which
of
was
the
cool.
one of the big things, which was kind of funny, was the whole Minecraft RTX thing with the ray tracing technology.
Yeah,
Like that's a big thing. Like people are excited about that.
yeah. Some people were saying like their RTX 2080 was barely getting like 60 frames on Minecraft. I was like, what?
That's
That's
awesome.
crazy.
I think I read a headline somewhere that it said Minecraft RTX is reinstilling people's passion for Minecraft or whatever it is. Or no, GeForce or NVIDIA's RTX is reinstilling people's belief in Minecraft all over again. And there was a picture of like a bee in a basket with like bad shadows. And I was like, what is this crap?
I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the trailer come out, I was like, this is like one of those joke trailers, right?
Nah, dude, Minecraft is
But
hardcore.
then they kept going, and I was like, okay, no, this is a legit RTX. And I should have known, because like when they started showing off like Quake 2,
Yeah.
RTX is still like, it's still technology I don't fully understand. And I got a card, you know, I got an RTX card, video card.
Another
But it's
flex
one of
by
those-
Fredo.
Oh, but it's still one of those like technologies that I truly don't understand what it is, what it's doing. But I do know that's where like the industry is going. So
I mean, like, I don't know a whole bunch about it either, but I can only assume it's just like to make things more defined and to make the feel of the game look more realistic. I guess I'm not too sure.
yeah, because we can get realistic with Minecraft.
Oh boy, let me tell you, those pixels.
Voxels, sir. Vox.
One of the cool games that came out that we were kind of watching, like, because we watched at least the first half of Gamescom together, was that Humankind game, which is kind of like a Sid Meier's Civilization game. That looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
that
what
looked
is
cool.
this? And I was like, another Civ game. give it to me. But it was some weird game called Humankind. But it looked pretty cool. I'd be down to play it. I'd be down to try it.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally, I never really kept up with Gamescom. Like, I didn't. This is the first time I'm actually like, wow, that's a thing.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's one of the see. That's the thing. Is like, it's a little low key. It's maybe not as big as E3 or as covered as PAX East or PAX West, but it's a thing. Like, it's one of the bigger things in Europe to kind of showcase games and only games.
I just remember when there was like E3 and Tokyo Game Show or whatever, TGS.
Well, like E3 was probably one of the biggest ones that they wanted to show off because all the big names are there. And now that companies are moving away from that platform and doing their own thing, like Nintendo, like 3 years ago, did like a little trailer of all their games mashed up into like a 10-minute video, and that was it.
Oh yeah, the Nintendo Direct.
And then but that was the beginning of like
PlayStation.
major games or major game consoles moving away from E3.
Yeah. I mean, this year PlayStation wasn't there, and they're following the Nintendo model now and releasing directs. PlayStation, Xbox is the only one who was really there.
Because they need it. Oh!
I really like what Xbox is doing though. Like Phil Spencer and them, like they got some good vision.
I mean, I've never been a big Xbox fan, and I just don't see how I can now. So, fuck off,
Well,
Xbox. No, I'm just
The
kidding.
thing is, like, it's literally all the PC games that you play. Like, that's it. Like, it's because we play on PC instead of Xbox.
Yeah.
We're still Microsoft, basically.
No. I officially write myself
Would you
down
go
as a
Linux?
PC gamer. So.
It's still Xbox. Like, literally press your Windows key and type Xbox. You
Shut
got
up.
Xbox.
Shut up. I know, it's like when I pop it up, it's like, hey, here's your Xbox profile. It's like, I don't have an Xbox, you loser.
Yeah, that's the only good thing is that they haven't enforced online multiplayer through that.
That's true. That's a good
So-
point. That's a very good point. Because if that were to happen, I would probably just go back to console.
I don't think I can. I like consoles. Just I can just kick back and sit, on my couch. But I don't know. I think PC is probably where I'll be for a while. And my
PC Master
Switch.
Race, man.
The Switch is pretty cool.
That's true. Switch is getting pretty big, and I feel like I'm missing out, so I need to get one pretty soon.
Yeah, but my major goal is really just have a nice PC that can do everything in the house.
Oh, I'm so excited for a rebuild.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
It's
We'll
gonna
get
be
you there
sick.
one day.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, do you got anything to talk about for Gamescom?
No, man. Like, I think we touched on all that we kind of cared to talk about Gamescom. Not a whole lot of games coming out right now. I don't think that are really catching our attention. Plus, we
The
have
Outer Worlds.
yeah, Outer Worlds, yeah,
I'm
but they didn't
looking
even
forward
talk
to
about that too much.
Nah.
I think we have a lot of games on our plate already to kind of finish up and take care of.
Yeah, never ending.
Never-ending cycle.
Well, it's slowing down for me personally.
Nah, mine's just getting bigger. But with that, man, let's wind this podcast down here and just kind of like reiterate the things we're doing here at the DigiTavern. And if you guys are listening, or whoever it is that you are, and if you're listening to our podcast, do us a solid. Share as much as you possibly can. Maybe you like us. Maybe you don't. It doesn't matter.
Well, personally, I'd like to say thank you for even getting this far in our podcast.
I'm not. like we have so much more to go, and this is only just starting. And I think I can speak on behalf of Fredo when I say, like, we want to make this a thing. We want to do what we can to make this a better thing. And this is really only the third podcast that we've done. And we've got a lot of milestones. We can celebrate and we can think when we have like 50 podcasts out there and only 5 listeners. Like, I'll thank those 5 after 50.
Personally.
It's like me, you, my mother, Travis, Adam.
My mother.
But with that, guys, go ahead and do us a favor and follow us on our social media accounts. I'm Jwany14 on the Twitter account. Databotz is Databotz with a Z. Also, look at our website, thedigitavern.com.
No, yeah, don't look at it.
Fredo's doing some amazing things on our website. It's kind of a lie. He's working on it. Give him some time. I believe in him. You should too.
I'm gonna do it so you go in there and you just see a coming soon like site. I found out how to do it the other day and I was like, they couldn't leave it like here for a month.
Coming soon, DunderMifflin.com 2016. It's gonna be terrible, but I think you're gonna get a hang of it at some point. We'll get there. Until then, I guess we can kind of say goodbye here, Fredo.
Yeah, goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, and hopefully you guys listen again on the next episode of... This is where you say it.
Oh, the DigiTavern?
Is that a question? The DigiTavern? Yes, the DigiTavern. Catch us next week when we discuss something else. We'll let you guys know what we're doing then. So, in the meantime, jump into WoW Classic, play your games, do what you do, and
remember, the server that we kind of mentioned. So, yeah, later.
Oh, did you? Oh, I thought you were going to say it again. Whatever. Goodbye.
Warcraft.